Welcome to What Do You Know podcasts. This podcast was created to inspire, to open up those sparks and invite us to what do we each know. Now, my guests come from all around the globe, have experienced, have created, and brought different things into this beautiful world. But what if their journey is just there to be an inspiration for what it is that each of us actually knows? Some of our topics will be about the planet, businesses, money, creation of wealth, relationships, and so much more. And we invite you to listen to this episode of What Do You Know? Hello, everyone, and welcome to What Do You Know podcast. My name is Lale Hancock. I am going to be your host. And today I have a friend from the past, the present, and the future, Rebeca Montoya. Welcome, Rebeca.
Hi, Lale. Thank you. Thank you for having me or for inviting me.
Well, you know, one of the things about you and that I love, and we're going to have a lot of conversation, is that you've experienced a lot of different things in your lifetime. You know, born in Venezuela, you live in the US now, being a journalist, a mom, a superpower, being who is a bars facilitator and who really is always looking for ways to empower people, change people's lives. So, would you like to say anything else?
Well, that's pretty much wife, mom, journalist, facilitator over, I think that 10 years now. And yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, today is a special day in the world of What Do You Know? Because I'd love to highlight something really cool that Rebecca has created. You know, I was a teacher a long time ago, and I know like when parents say to you, we'd like to buy you a present, or they bring you a gift, it's usually not what the teacher would like to have, but it's something the parent would like to give the teacher. But this year, Rebecca, she went all out for Thanksgiving as a way of sharing gratitude for the teachers, for the staff at her kids' school. Rebecca, do you want to tell them a little bit more?
Yes, of course. Thank you. Yeah, this started maybe 2 years ago when I started to be part of a parents teacher association in the school. Um, I'm always like, for me, community is important. And I think that that's part of why I became a journalist, because I wanted to do something greater than just only me. Um, and when I moved here, I didn't speak any English at all. When I moved from Venezuela, I was like a woman, a mom. I was in my 30s. So part of what helped me was being a volunteer and being part of the school community and try to help in the way that I could, right? So for the last 2 years, maybe this is the third year, I has been part of the Parent Teachers Association, helping people that don't speak Spanish to communicate with the people that don't speak English. Basically, being like a bridge between communities um, that have like language as a barrier. Um, so in that note, talking and bringing ideas to the boards, and now I'm in a different board. Actually, now I'm in two boards because I'm also part of the um, swimming association here in the community. Um, so this idea about give bars sessions to kids, parents, teacher, in like this is the first time that they say yes as a gift for Thanksgiving to the staff and the teachers. So it's not like bars for them. It's like let's give something to the teachers that it could relax them in this, Thanksgiving week because it's a free week here in the United States. Um, yeah, and that's how it becomes.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's give people what bars is because not everybody knows what the bars are. So, Access Consciousness, more than 30 years ago, the first tool that was there to help relaxation, creativity, just feeling good is the creation of what's called the Access Consciousness bars. Now, in more than 30 years, it's in, I don't even know, I lost count, maybe 190 countries now. It's been taken everywhere: schools, hospitals, military, businesses. We have a whole program called Bars in Business because it is about the business, whether it's the school's business or, hospitals or whatever else. And it's 32 points on your head. And for me, I'm going to rave about this. My first session of this magical thing was on my birthday when I had the most stress in my life. Well, back then, anyway. I had just sold my house in one day. We had bought another house. My business was booming. I had so many different consulting projects that I was working on with my business. My kids had things going on at school. They were runners and in the races coming up. My husband had just gotten a promotion. Like, if you ask that moment, it seemed like when everything seemed crazy in my life, even though it was fantastic. And this woman said, "For your birthday, can I come gift you something I just learned? It's called the bars." And she came over, she put her massage table down, she touched my head, and within 5 seconds, I said, "I don't know what this is, but I'm going to tell the whole world about it." And guess what? I have told the whole world about it. Now we are going to tell the whole universe about it. So, when Rebecca's talking about this, is like not only being a contribution and helping people break these barriers of language. Language is nothing, we can get along so much if we don't worry about the language aspect of it. But being able to be this real gift, in the school between parents, teachers, kids. And then also, in addition, being able to bring something that actually is going to be relevant for them in their bodies. Really, relaxation is one of the greatest gifts we could ever give anyone.
Totally agree. And you know what? Being in the school, like last year, I think that I had over 1,000 volunteers hours in 2 years. So being there, I can notice the difference when a teacher is relaxed and have more space with the kids. Like it's just like a different person, a different reality when you have more space, when you're more relaxed, and when you're more happy, even like it's not about. I mean, the kids can perceive everything. In the United States, we have this fear about what could happen in the school or what is happening in another school. I remember, like 1 year ago, maybe more. We have a shooting here in Texas. Um, it was chaotic, even when we were 3 hours away from that other school. So it's like, and I was wondering that day, like, what different energy can I be? So we don't go into scare ourselves, impose that in the kids, like, you have to be scared when you're going to the school. I feel like that's insane. I don't want that for my kids. So part of bringing these tools, and doing my best to bring tools that works, and just sharing a different point of view, that for me, it's important and it's relevant because it's creating a different future. And
Totally, totally.
maybe it sounds
Yeah.
like I'm crazy, and maybe I am sure I am, but it's like, what if we don't just um, resist and react and align and just agree with whatever people is saying? What if we can maybe um, look beyond that and look beyond the rush of the moment, and ask something like, okay, what is possible here? What is different here? What if we can just have a different energy that contribute not only to that school or the school that is, you know, okay in that moment, but also to the other schools that have that experience, and to the kids, because it is crazy after that kind of stuff happening here. Like, they change regulations, they change the way that people communicate in the school, like everything changed. And I know that it changed to create a safer school, but I'm not sure if that it's better.
Hmm.
Talking about
Yeah.
the kids, freedom, happiness, and other stuff that is also relevant.
This actually, when you said that to me, it reminded me when my kids were little, they went to Montessori school, before elementary school. And there was a sniper in our state in Maryland who was shooting people, kids, people in their lawns, at the gas stations. Like, no one could find him. But it was this really weird thing. You drop off your kids. I'd take my car, drop off my kids. And at the time, the business that I was working in was walking distance from my house. So I would just literally drop off the kids at the car, come back home, drop off my car. And all I had to do was go a block and a half crossing the light. And I just remember looking all around, being like, scared. Is someone there? Is someone going to shoot me? What's going to happen? Now, that was many years ago. That was like 20 years ago, right? But it's like that energy that puts there automatically is panic, fear, anxiety, stress, and all these other things. And the teachers don't need that. They don't need that level of stress. They already have too many kids in the classroom. They have a variety of kids who have different learning abilities, so like adding one more thing like that to the teacher's plate is really not so kind. But I know, like you said, there's precaution that gets created, and in an effort for safety, sometimes there's a lot of things that get put in that creates more stress, more problems. And I look at even that school that had that shooting. No one has time to see what the kids are doing. They're so
That
busy with everything else. If
uh,
that principal had more sleep, more relaxation, if those teachers, the counselors, the parents to that kid, like this is a whole other conversation of our society needs improvement, But I wonder if those parents, if those teachers actually got their bars run, could we have shooting in schools?
mm,
Because that kid is also learning from the parents to fight, to be stressed, to have anxiety. Like, we are teaching kids how to behave and to behave that way. It's not just coming by itself, it's coming from somewhere. And so,
totally.
like, what would it be like for me, my dream? What would it be like for bars to be available in every school in the world? Not just America, but for kids to know for 10 minutes, 15 minutes of pure relaxation. For me, it's creativity. It's not just relaxation. Like, getting a bars run for me just makes me a better mother, person. I'm better in business. I have an easier time traveling. Like, it makes my whole world better.
Mhm. Yeah, and also engagement. Like, one thing that I notice is the lack of engagement that parents have with the school and that parents have with the kids. So it's actually like bringing technology to this conversation. So you have the kids that are having, phones, iPads, all that kind of information out there. You're not engaged with that. Like, you're not engaging with your kid, but he's engaging with whatever is out there, yeah, that you cannot control, but also you are not even aware of. So
Mhm.
another thing that bars create is this capacity to be present. And for
Yeah.
me, that's like really important to engage. You have to be present. You have to, I mean, you don't have to, but what would create if you can be present with your kid? um, maybe half an hour, maybe 20 minutes, because I understand life is, all over the place. You have a lot to do. But if we create this priority, maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour, whatever works for you, to engage with the kids, maybe 1 hour a week to engage with the school, what a different reality, because you also have ideas, solutions, ways to see stuff that maybe other teachers, or the principal or the staff, they cannot see it because they are there, they are busy, they are doing, they are having like a very strict schedule and all the stuff. So I always try to invite people to engage. What if you can engage? It doesn't matter how long. It could be 1 hour, 30 minutes, a week, a month. It doesn't matter, but engage, because that is going to create something different if they know that you are here. And let me say this, I'm not saying this from judgment. uh, that's another thing with parents, that if you propose something, they believe that they are wrong. Uh, no, you're not wrong. This is about more information, about to create something different. Part of me, you know, engagement with the community is okay. If I wanted to create something different, if I would like my neighbor to be different, and if I would like to see something greater, I have to be part of that. I have to start
Mhm.
somewhere. So it's not like I have a lot of time to volunteer. It's that for me, create that future start today with my choice, and with me being present the time that I can. So what if, all parents can have that, be that, and start to bring another energy to the school? Because also what I notice is that most parents that make the time to volunteer, they want to control. They want to be there so they can control their kid more, or they can control whatever happened at the school, which is not a way to be present. It's also a way to disconnect. Also, like I know that sounds like, oh, what is that? But it's a way when you're trying to control your kid, sometimes you ended to like disconnecting from the kid, because the kids don't want to be controlled. They want to be free,
Yes.
they want to play, they want to learn, they want to, you know uh, make their own universe, and they need the experience, and they need engage with other kids to create that. So it's a different point of view of like, I'm not sure if the world is ready for this, but it's totally different point of view.
And each of us, different. Like I can tell you when my kids were little and even through high school, I was the parent who, a lot of it, I was a single parent. I am an executive, and I was an executive back then to different businesses. And, morning, noon, and night, I was on the phone. I was on the computer. We were working, it was different. But I knew I had to carve out time for being there with them, because I was not interested in just the babysitter, the nanny, or whatever, to be that for my children, no matter how old they were. And I was actually, as much as I worked and as much as I was the one who didn't have time, I was the one parent who went to every event, and then you had other parents, they didn't do anything, they didn't even go to work, and they were not at the event. But it's a choice. You don't
Mhm.
have to. But we have to also look that it's not our teacher and the principal's job to teach our kids. It starts with us at home,
Mm, I
you know?
agree.
Yes, there's information, there's content that they can share. But again, it all starts at home. And I know many parents listening here, you're like, I don't want to hear this anymore. It's okay. You don't have to. But each of us can contribute in some way. So, what is that one way you can contribute? one, it's fun for you, and two, it also, it could be something no one else is doing as well, so do it your way. But it cannot just be that we create a society where it's all the teacher and the principal's responsibility to take care of our kids and educate them for manners and other ways, like that actually starts with us. And when we are engaged and we empower the kids, then it's no longer coming from this fight. It's coming because we're empowering them to be greater. We're empowering them to be more of themselves and honoring them for who they are. So it actually opens a different conversation in our lives with our children and the futures that we're creating. And I have to say, for me, the minute I got my bars run, I actually think I became a better mom. I came better at me. Stress was the number one thing in the corporate world. Morning to night, I had stress. It wasn't the stress, 100% went away, but I just learned how to be different with the stress. I started to
Mhm.
use the stress to my advantage, know. But I also realized that the more I got my bars run, the more creative I was. So like there wasn't only one option, so then it was like, oh, we have option here, this. The creativity juices would go while also being more relaxed as situations were coming up. So I didn't have to be in this fight mode. And it really changed my whole world, my whole way of being changed.
And that's the thing about the bars. You just said that you were being different after bars. As a parent, if you can, like, your kid is gonna learn how to be and what to be based in what you be. I
Yep.
mean, there is no another way to say it. So that's another thing. If you can be more, if you can be different, um, your kid is gonna be invited to be different too. And that's
And invited the difference, not wrong.
exactly. Hmm. Hmm.
And that your kid can be. I remember we had one situation. I lived in a very affluent neighborhood. So we had many different kinds of kids who went to our school. Our school was a blue ribbon school. Like it was one of the best in America. And so people wanted to live there just to be able to put their kids in school. And you got a really good mix of people. And I remember once it actually was this one young lady whose dad was on TV, he was on the news and they were divorced, and the way this daughter would just use the parents against each other. And she called my house trying to bully my kids. And that did not work because my kids knew that's not going to work.
Hmm.
And so like I get this also is what is the future we would like to create, not just for our kids, but the world we'd like to live in. And if
Certainly.
we're completely absent from their lives, who are they learning from?
Mm, that's. Mhm, mhm.
I love shooting, but I took my kids to a place to learn where it's safe, not in a high school. Don't come shoot the kids. So like again, it's like we could take these examples, but it all comes back. What is that future we would like to see on the planet, and what contribution can each of us be to that? I'm sorry, I know we went from like bars to gratitude to Thanksgiving to shootings to all this other conversation.
Amazing. No, but it's amazing, and I love what you're saying. I really hope that with this interview, people can, just take 5 minutes to ask themselves what, what can I create different here? Or am I creating whatever I want to create? Is this working for me? Like, what if you can be more aware?
Yeah, yeah. And I really invite you guys. Bars for me has been a great gift, and I've taken it to military, schools, hospitals. I've taken it to so many places around the globe, and it may not be what works for you, but you got to find what is that resource, what is that tool that can help you be more of you.
Mhm.
Because the innate us isn't the stress basket, it's actually the person who's calm, who loves life, who's laughing, who's enjoying things. That's the innate us. The atmosphere, the other things is what contributes to all these other things. So what is that thing that works for you? And as Rebecca's taking this for Thanksgiving in America to the teachers and to the staff, like, what gift could you give you? Not just Thanksgiving, but what gift can you give you? Maybe
I
it's a
love.
massage. Maybe it's something else. Maybe it's drawing. Maybe it's horseback riding. Like, this is where each of us is so unique and different. You got to find what that is for you. And we're going to also have in the show notes information about the bars as well as bars in business. And if you guys have any interest, I'm one of the ambassadors of bars in business globally. So if you have anything going on in the US, or Dubai, or wherever else, I'm happy to connect you wherever you got to go. Who else we can connect you with? And it could be a school, it could be a business that's contacting us, because that's the thing. Everyone's talking now more about mental health, and getting away from anxiety and stress and overwhelm and, all these different things. But what if it actually starts from that moment of saying, you know what? I want to try something new.
Mhm. Mm. Thank you, Lale. Amazing.
Yeah. Thank you for being here, Rebecca. I am so grateful for you. You and I have known each other a long time, and it's been so beautiful to see the transformation of you as well and your work. And I know when I met you, you were in Florida, and now you're in Texas, and all the things that you're doing in your communities. And I really encourage all of you, like, what can you engage with? Because engagement is not just for parenting, it actually is. Our businesses are going to be so different the minute that we actually engage with our staff, we engage with things around us, our clients. It becomes more than a transactional, reality, but actually creating something that has futures. So thank you for you, Rebecca. And I'm so looking forward to seeing these pictures of all these teachers who are finally like relaxed.
We'll do that. Thank you, Lale, and thank you everybody that is here listening and watching me. See you.
Yes, yes, yes. Please, who do you know that you could pass this on to? Like, truly, what can we create as we start to empower ourselves and be that space of inspiration and empowerment for others? See you guys next time. Thank you for being here for this episode of What Do You Know podcast. We're so grateful you're here. If you have not yet subscribed, you can subscribe below. And will you contribute to assisting us in spreading this out to all others who may be looking for it? And comments below. Let us know. What did you think of this episode? What contribution has it been for you? And also, what topics would you like to hear about? We look forward to hearing from you today and in the future.